Call to order. This meeting is being conducted pursuant to Idaho Code 67-2346. Open legislative meetings required, and Idaho Code 33-504. Vacancies on boards of trustees. Are there any additions, corrections, modifications, or substitutions to the current agenda?
There are none.
You might be too close.
Is that my mic?
I think it's because you were picking up the mic.
Okay, sorry, we're good.
Okay, I have received none.
Okay, we have all of the board members present: Kathy Baker, Catherine Graves, Sean Denyon, and myself, Paul Bates. The format of the meeting will be described by Lori Kaufman. A couple of notes. That this meeting is being held to interview the applicant for Zone 5, which is vacated by Don Nurge. That applicant is Elizabeth Schwertle. There will be no public comment at this meeting. This is an interview, and it is we need to focus on a determination of what Liz's value may be to the school district. We've gotten quite a bit of comment already. I don't mean that shouldn't ever stop. And I would request that you please be quiet. This is, we are doing, it's going to be a conference call because that is going to give us the best audio. We will have it on Skype as the quality of the feed is available. We felt it was best to use the phone to ensure that the communication was good. Okay, Lori, would you like to kind of describe what we're going to do?
Yeah, just basically the agenda is, well, first of all, I want to introduce Liz. Liz, can you see us?
Sorry, I can't see you, but I can hear you.
All right, well, Liz Schwertle, welcome to the meeting.
Thank you. I can see Paul and half of Sean. There we go.
Okay, all right. What we're going to do tonight is, after that introduction, is our school district attorney, Adam King, is going to make some remarks and explain Idaho Code as it applies to this meeting and some other things. And after that, we'll ask Liz to give an opening statement, a 3-minute opening statement, voluntarily if she wants to. And then after that, it'll be back to me to ask her the questions that the board has determined. Following that, we'll turn it back over to the board for their decision. So that's the format of the meeting. So, Adam?
Thanks, Lori. Liz, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. My name is Adam King. I'm the school district general counsel. Under Idaho law, this is an open meeting process. This is a fairly unique circumstance where the trustees are making a discretionary appointment to fill an elected position. As such, it has to be conducted in open session. With that, I'd like to ask the trustees to summarize very briefly public comments to make the process open. I know there's been thousands of emails flying around. If you can just briefly summarize how the comments been, generally in favor, generally against, and I'll go through Trustee Baker.
I've received one written communication negative
Okay.
against. I've received 2 verbal comments to that effect, and I've received approximately 15 to 20 emails positive.
Okay.
One that included a number of signatures, 79 in first zone, and I believe like 200 and something. I know Lori has that email
Okay.
in favor.
Okay. Thanks. And Trustee Graves?
I hadn't counted them up.
Yeah, maybe if these were all circulated among the board, maybe we can stop there.
I think they're all.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
that's fine. Okay.
My
Okay.
circumstances similar.
Okay, this process is governed by Idaho Code Section 33-504, which is entitled Vacancies on Boards of Trustees. First, the board declares a vacancy, and that's already happened. Applicants are then invited by the school staff from the zone where the vacancy has occurred by publicizing the vacancy. That's been done also. Within 90 days from the declaration of vacancy, and that date was?
June 11th.
So within 90 days from June 11th, the board may appoint a new trustee. I say may because the board is not required by law to appoint any particular applicant. The legislature has created a three-tiered system where if the board chooses not to appoint an applicant, then within the next total period of 120 days, the board can open this up to the school district at large. If they fail to appoint from the school district at large, then the county commissioners make the appointment after 120 days. This system was created very recently in 2010, in part to address the rural counties where there might not be an applicant, but the legislature has clearly said that you're not required to appoint a particular applicant, but you may. So this is a wholly discretionary function. I know the public is here and interested. It's not a public referendum. This is squarely within the board's discretion. So if you did not appoint tonight, and then a total of 100, if you did not appoint tonight, it would go to the county at large, and people could submit. The way I read the statute, and I've looked at the legislative history, I think also if you didn't appoint somebody tonight, that Ms. Schwertel could resubmit her name also for consideration. And if you failed to, once again, after 120 days, it would go to the county commissioners. All the voting is open. There's no secret ballot, and I know the clerk, Lori Kaufman, has a procedure for that. And the other thing is there are no tiebreakers. So you could be deadlocked 2-2, and if that's the case, you'll have to move to the next procedure. Okay? And with that, are there any questions from the board or staff?
Clarification? The process for the voting will be a straight-up vote, because if we had more than one applicant,
That's right, yeah,
there would have
that's
been a
right.
matrix.
Okay, thank you,
You
yeah.
know, that the board would utilize.
Correct.
So-
You just take a vote. Yep.
Okay.
So is there, in between the time of the question and the answer period, time for discussion, or is it like we normally do?
Yeah, that's more just up to the chair, I think, to
Okay.
guide the discussions. That's not a legal issue.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, one question to Liz. Liz, would you like to be looking at Lori when she is speaking the questions to you? Would that
Can you
helpful
see me?
to you, or-
She just needs to
You
point
know
them.
what? That's either way. Yeah, sure. Oh, there she is. Is she right there?
Yeah.
Hi. Okay, Liz. Please go ahead with your opening statement if you care to do so.
Sure. Okay, and I have to ask you, it might run to 4 minutes. Is that okay?
That'll be just fine.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Okay, just one sec here. Okay, hello, Chairman Bates, Trustee Graves, Benyon, and Baker. I would first like to say thank you to you, our board members, who work so tirelessly for our children. Yours is probably the most important job in our community. Your financial and policy decisions directly affect 3,300 school children, 600 staff members, and the entire community at large. The Blaine County School District budget is 50% larger than the combined budgets of the county and all the cities combined. So there are significant fiscal ramifications for our community as well. The fact that you take personal time from family and friends to work on behalf of the children, teachers, and patrons of our community is truly appreciated. I would also like to thank the community members who have come to this meeting tonight, some of whom have shown up for years to witness and to try to shape and improve our local schools. Your involvement in the governance and policy of our schools is the most important factor that will help us become a world-class school district. This is a team effort. I believe that the involvement of our community is the most important part of that effort. I would like to tell you a little bit about my background and why I believe I would be a good candidate for school board. I have always subscribed to the belief that education is not preparation for life, it's life itself, which is a quote by a renowned education reformer named John Dewey. What this means to me is that all the elements of a great education, problem solving, learning by doing, working in groups, critical thinking, public speaking, basically everything that you do in your board meetings, are fundamentally important skills for an individual in life and for a democratic society as a whole. The whole system depends on educating people to be able to think independently and clearly and who have the knowledge and skills to reach their personal potential. Because of this interest, I have been involved in volunteering in our public schools and various parent organizations since we moved to Blaine County in 2002. I have been particularly involved with two efforts that have helped Blaine County, I believe, to become a truly world-class school district. The first effort had to do with funding. In the spring of 2006, I led a successful local and statewide effort to save property tax funding of schools in Idaho. I was an integral part of that effort. This funding provides $29.5 million annually to Blaine County School District, which is 2/3 of our local instruction-related funding. In total, this effort has resulted in $177 million more funding for Blaine County Public Schools since 2007. In support of this effort, I extensively lobbied state legislators in Boise, created positive relationships with heads of Senate and House Education Committees, as well as many other state legislators, testified at the House legislative hearings regarding property tax funding of schools, personally met with Governor Risch and Idaho Superintendent of Schools Tom Luna, wrote editorials that appeared in the Idaho Statesman, Twin Falls Times-News, Idaho Falls Post-Register, and the Mountain Express. The second major way that I've positively affected Blaine County Public Schools is that a few years ago, I led a community effort to study and implement International Baccalaureate, an internationally renowned gold standard curriculum, which has so far been implemented in grades 6 through 10 and is a key component of the district's goal of becoming a model school district. In support of this effort, I organized a summer-long volunteer parent effort to study world-class curriculum. The study culminated in the issuance of an executive report which concluded that International Baccalaureate was highly regarded as gold standard curriculum and would help Blaine County School District in its stated mission to be a world-class school district. The community was widely supportive. IB was one of the top 3 wishes of the community in the 6,000 comments upon which the strategic plan was based. In conclusion, I would appreciate the opportunity to continue to help the children of Blaine County and to offer you, the members of this board, my time, energy, and experience to assist you in whatever way that would be most helpful to do the best job possible for Blaine County Public Schools and our community. That's my opening statement. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz.
If we could refrain, I understand, but particularly through the questions.
Okay.
At the end,
Oh, sorry.
maybe if you'll have an opportunity.
Liz, you already have a set of the questions,
Yep.
but I'm going to just list them off one at a time and go ahead and give your answer. We'll go to the second one until we're done, okay?
Sounds good?
All right. Number 1, what motivates you to want to become a board member?
I believe that nothing is more important locally and nationally than the education of our children. That's it.
What qualities do you possess that would contribute to our board?
I am well informed about local education issues as well as national trends in education. I'm a good critical thinker and do my own extensive research before I arrive at a decision. I'm a good big picture, strategic thinker. I ask good questions and insist on detailed answers. I have first-hand experience with various types of education. I'm willing to do what's necessary to help our district become truly world-class. I can think outside the box and arrive at solutions that benefit children. I'm a good team player and spent most of my career as part of a 6-person management team. I have extensive financial experience.
What do you see as the board's roles and responsibilities? And of these responsibilities, what do you think is the number 1 job?
I think that this is an answer that covers, you can answer a lot of different ways, but there's some overlapping themes. The Center for Public Education says the following, and I agree with it. First and foremost, school boards look out for students. Education is not a line item on the school board's agenda. It is the only item. When making decisions about school programs, school boards incorporate their community's view of what students should know and be able to do. School boards are accessible to the public and accountable for the performance of their schools. School boards are the education watchdog for their communities, ensuring that students get the best education for the tax dollars spent.
All right. Do you have sufficient time and energy to devote to this position?
Yes.
All right. How would you handle requests if approached by individuals?
I would listen to the request, then advise the person to talk to the appropriate staff member. If they did not receive a satisfactory response, I would urge them to go up the chain of command until they felt the problem was resolved. After doing this, if they still felt the issue not resolved to their satisfaction, and if it was a policy matter that could best be addressed by the board, I would ask my fellow board members to put the issue on the agenda so that it could be brought up for discussion before a public meeting of the full board.
What is your vision for education in this community?
I believe our local education should prepare all students to be critical thinkers and global citizens. I also believe that, at their best, schools help children find their strengths. Teaching young people to focus on what interests, engages, and energizes them is the best gift we can give our children.
If the majority of the board votes in favor of a decision that you were not in favor of, should you support that decision?
Yes, the board must speak with one voice once a decision is made.
Is membership on the Board of Education compatible with your present position?
I am currently a member of the Community School Board of Trustees, and I don't believe that I could give 100% to both positions. So if I were appointed to the Blaine County Board of Trustees, I would resign from the Community School Board.
What is the purpose of public education?
There's a whole, quite a few things, I think, but I'll just list off some of the top things that I think are important. Number one, to acquire knowledge and skills. Number two, to develop integrity. Number three, to process information. Number four, to think critically. Number five, to work independently. Number six, to collaborate with others. Number seven, to adapt to change. Number eight, to discover one's personal interests and strengths.
Do you have a potential conflict of interest?
No.
Do you have any specific changes you want to make in school district policies, programs, or the various school curricula being offered? And if so, what changes do you want to make and why?
I covered this a little bit in the opening remarks, so it's a little bit repetitive, but in 2007, in advance of the strategic planning process, the community was asked about their vision for our district. Almost 6,000 responses were collected from 1,100 individuals who answered the survey. The response showed that the community was widely interested in better curriculum. The specific areas of interest were, number one, International Baccalaureate, and number two, AVID. We are well on our way to acquiring the IB Middle Years program, which is wonderful. I believe AVID needs to be offered as soon as possible so that all of our students, particularly our Hispanic students who may not have a college-going tradition in their family, have the skills and support they need to be able to take advanced classes. This would create equal opportunities for all students and increase the culture of education across the board. I also believe that it is the job of administration to ensure that AVID is implemented in a way that doesn't inconvenience our current teachers, but that makes their job easier. I also believe that we should act with a sense of urgency to investigate the IB diploma program. Even if only a few students were able to handle the rigor of this complete program, I believe that IB could raise the bar for our entire district and would coexist well with our current AP classes. I also believe that we should tap into the expertise of our community by impaneling a district accountability committee that would help the board do its job and provide a layer of accountability that would increase public trust in the board and the district.
Thank you, Liz. I'm going to pass this back over to the board now and ask them if they have any of their own follow-up questions.
I have a question. Liz, this evening we received a copy of an email that was sent by a member of the public that implied that you had made a promise that if you were elected to the school board, that you would seek that our board would revisit the Serenia Mountain School charter application and ensure that we would have that funded as a alternative school.
Right.
Um, So I'm
Yeah.
concerned about, I'd like to know your response to that.
I'm one person with opinions, but I'm a member of the public. I could not, in a million years, give anyone an assurance about anything. So I think that's, that's the way it is. Do I believe in school choice? Yes, I do. I believe that brings positive things to the school district, just the way that the magnet school for the dual immersion has brought, I think, a positive element to the school where the districts where people are able to choose that type of education if they want it.
Just a follow-up to that. Do you think this a trustee has the ability to make a promise to the public on bringing forth a decision on something individually?
People have opinions. How could a single trustee ever promise to do anything? It's physically it's impossible. So I don't, I don't understand the where that question is going in terms of, it doesn't make sense to me. I have opinions about school choice and I support it.
Thank you, Liz.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions from the board?
I got a question. Liz, I understand you're on the community school board of trustees, and I'm also under the impression, I could be wrong, that both of your students or your kids attend the community school. Can you explain why that choice was made to take them out of public education and put them in private school?
Sure. I think each child has different academic needs, and our son Bobby was better supported by the model that community school offers. He was given a high degree of individual help, and I think that really worked for him. Our daughter has had a wonderful experience in Blaine County schools, and she'll be attending community school next year because there's 2 extraordinary teachers there in 8th grade, but she may be back at Wood River High the year after that. I myself am the product of both public and private schools, and I think that they both have positives.
As an advocate for public schools, is it kind of counterproductive to advocate for public schools but yet send your kids to private schools?
No, I think it exhibits an interest in education overall. I don't play favorites. It's about the kids.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
I'm going to ask one more question.
Kathy would like to ask one more question.
Sure.
Liz, some community members have voiced concern regarding your sometimes criticism of the school district and whether that would inhibit your ability to work collaboratively with their administration. Would you like to comment on that?
Sure. I think that anybody who's done as much as I have with, I've made a tremendous positive difference to our school district. So I think that when I asked some questions, particularly about the McKinstry situation, all of a sudden, for the very first time, the word critic was bandied about. But I feel like the questions that I asked were appropriate. I wish that there had been more of a reception to questions like that. I think people who are on the board right now had the same questions as I do, and I know the public at large did. And there was, I might have been the person that was heard, but I think that there were many people who had questions, and I wish that they would have been entertained a little bit more seriously, and there would have been a better forum for that.
Got it, Mark? Yes? Last question?
All right, Liz,
Yep.
do you have any questions for the board before we finish the question and answer?
That's a good question. I didn't even think about that.
Either way.
I appreciate that. I can't really, I've been to board meetings, I've watched the board over the years, and I think I understand, how board meetings work and how the dynamics work a bit. And so I can't think of anything. Thanks, Mel.
Okay,
Okay, Paul.
Well, that's the end of the questions to the applicant. Does the board have anything you wish to say or discuss? No? Shall we vote? Are we ready to vote?
Might give us just a few minutes to,
We're going to have a few minutes of
just to,
painful silence. I think perhaps at this moment to just reiterate what Adam pointed out earlier is that we are going to make this decision as individuals on the board elected by the public to represent you. And please attempt to respect it, whatever our vote is and whatever our decision is.
Just mulling over right now.
We'll call you back tomorrow, Liz.
Okay.
Yes?
Yep. Got it.
I'll take a roll call vote. Kathy?
Yes.
Catherine?
yay.
John?
Nay.
All yay. Liz? Just passed the first test. As soon as you,
The first of many.
yes, the next regularly scheduled board meeting, you'll be sworn in as the representative for Zone 5. Congratulations.
Thank you, Paul.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Okay, with that, do I hear a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I just wanted to say one thing. I appreciate everybody allowing me to do this, and the Skype did like this. I know it wasn't convenient for you, and I just appreciate that. So, and I appreciate the board members going back to back on meetings, and the members of the public coming to something that probably wasn't their first choice. That's just the way they wanted to spend their meeting. So I just wanted to thank everyone.
Yeah, well, the board definitely mulled over it and felt that it was a valid way to do it, and I hope that the public feels that as well.
Great. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz.
We'd also like to thank you for taking time away from your family to do this interview. It means a lot. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And to Tim Rocco for setting it all up.
Yes, exactly. Jim, thank you.
Okay. I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
All second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. This meeting is adjourned.
7 o'clock.
Thank you.
Thank you, Liz.